Yeah, it's actually not that hard to hit a good two opportunity. It's a 1 and 2, guys. Let's just do a bunch of these. Ooh, almost hit big there. Oh, oh. What? What? What just happened? What? It's done. I don't need a fraction. I don't need a fraction. We don't even need a fraction. I also want to just sell it like this. All right, you guys you guys want to see me slam tier 1 max life into this? You said exalt slam tier 1 max life into this? Get ready for it. Get ready for it. All right, who's all in DPS? Who's all in DPS? Somebody's all in DPS. It's I don't know. It's all in DPS. I mean, this is dude. Cluster crafting's easy, guys. It's just hey guys, what's up? It's Snoo. Get ready for the new and exciting Tier 17 farm. This is a speed farm. Yes, indeed. Hopefully the first of many Tier 17 farms. I know a lot of you guys, a lot of people in my community feeling some type of way about the current state of the game, the end game especially. Maybe it doesn't feel quite as rewarding as it should, and or way too difficult, and or maybe your farm just gets completely removed because it's too powerful or something. Well, it's times like these that make me excited to research, go around trying to figure things out, come up with a new farm that can hopefully do nothing short of save the league for some of you guys. And this just might be one of those. I'm very excited to bring this farm. What is going on here? Let's take a look at the Atlas. So, right before we talk about the Atlas, we just got to get this out of the way. Tier 17 farming. I know there's a lot of videos out there, a lot of people showcasing crazy stuff on Reddit. Meat Sacks Allflames. There was the Anarchy Allflame business before that. There's crazy high investment, high stakes curation divination farming. There's all kinds of wacky stuff out there, and it just seems like it's completely out of touch for a lot of people. And its perception of Tier 17 just can't really break into it. Not rewarding enough. Way too dangerous to do. Just bricking maps. I've been there too. I've been banging my head against the wall on these for quite some time. That's why I haven't come out with a video for a while, because I've been on the lookout for something that could really break through that mold, something that could really help you guys with. And this is one such farm. We're going to essentially, on the surface, be boss rushing Tier 17 maps. So boss rushing, that's a legitimate strat, right? People have picked up on that. Tier 17, especially on Abomination, which is a map that seems to have a higher tier drop rating for the Uber Maven fragment, which is the more valuable one. And so people like running that map. It costs a little extra, but you make decent profit. It's honest work, right? But, well, those poor boss rushers would, I think, be quite dismayed if they knew just how much currency they were leaving on the table in those maps if they would only pick up a few dozen item level 84 cluster jewels along the way and take almost no extra time to do their maps. If only they would be doing that. Yeah, cluster jewels. Remember that thing that people already identified and even theory crafted before the league started? Yeah, that's what we're doing today. We're farming item level 84 plus cluster jewels, which virtually never dropped in the game up until now with the brand new Tier 17. We used to have to rely on item level 84 special clusters that could get the highest tier rolls, 35% increased effect of modifiers, primarily that roll. We had to rely on the very rare occurrence of a magic, rare, or unique monster dropping the cluster jewels. But did you know that cluster jewels are primarily sourced from the delirium rewards spinning over to the next round, especially if you have it layered all the way out towards the end at higher tier levels of delirium? The problem is the rewards flipping over cannot grant you an item level 84 cluster in a tier 16 or below, which is why in a tier 17, if you rig your maps to get tons of delirium rewards, you will spit out dozens of item level 84 clusters in minutes, in a factor of a few minutes. And that's what we're doing. That's why this strategy is so good. And the best part of all, remember I was talking about how the maps are way too dangerous, too risky? How would you like a farm that doesn't need Allflames? How about that? How about a farm that doesn't need the meat sacks, doesn't need the anarchy, doesn't need the syndicate stuff, doesn't need the manifesto west, doesn't need to go crazy, all of that, just good old-fashioned plug and play, couple of super cheap Scarabs, a map that, yeah, the map itself's not so cheap, but the fragment at the end, when you kill the boss, makes it more than worth it. But hey, wait a minute. This is a Delirium tier 17 map. What do you mean kill the boss? Maybe I can't kill the boss. Well, that's fine. You don't have to kill the boss, because you make way more currency off the clusters than the boss anyway. We have people in my community. The community is all abuzz. Check out the Discord. Honestly, the testimonies are crazy. I'm really quite happy with the preliminary results, as I didn't even look into this until about 24 hours ago. And I'm already just trying to churn this video out because, yeah, this is absolutely a real winner of a strat. And I think it's going to have a lot more longevity in the market than some people think it will. So I'm going to save my thoughts for the final thoughts on that at the end. For now, we're going to get straight into the Atlas, get that intro out of the way, and then we'll talk about, you know, all the other stuff with the map showcase. We'll check the results, the highlights in between. So here it is. Cool little Atlas here, riding off to the right. Oh, another cool thing, we got Nico on the map. Why not just make the map easier? So how about a tier 17 that doesn't need every single Atlas point for trying to farm currency? I can just make the map a little easier for you. We'll get some Nico in there, guaranteed chance to spawn Nico with packed with energy. That's why we're going off to the right. Then we're going to get a lot of increased effective modifiers because we are going to be trying to juice up the map a little bit, even though it's kind of a speed farm, juicing up enough to get enough rewards. We'll talk about that in just a second. I do like prioritizing Scarabs when I can. Tier 17 maps can roll with more Scarabs. I'm not really prioritizing that roll, but it's nice when you can at least take remarkable relics. I like rolling maps for Nemesis, so amplified artifacts is really nice. But these are some flexible points here. We're getting some increased Delirium reward speed for the progress there, and we're focusing on some cluster jewels, of course. You'll notice that there's even some more Delirium points over here. You get a chance to generate more reward tiles, so you can see there's definitely a lot of priority on cluster jewel drops through the rewards tiles flipping over. Also some Delirium naturally over here to make it speed and go a little bit deeper into the mirror to guarantee the further progress there. Now on Abomination map, one of the cool things about Abomination is I think the boss is easier. Now you may think the boss is easier on Sanctuary or somewhere else. You can do this on whatever map you want. But Abomination, very easy. Because for one thing, the boss is never in a deep deli. The map's not long enough. The map's not deep enough to have the experience of really deep, like maximum Delirium. You don't see that on this map. It's actually a pretty quick map. And then we're still doing Beyond because, again, we spawn some more mobs, trying to be very efficient, not doing League mechanics. Do you see any League mechanics on here? No, there's basically no League mechanics as far as like having to stop. You might have thought, well, hey, if we're doing Delirium reward tiles, we got to be doing some Blight, right? We're going to be doing some iLvl stuff too. Yeah, I started off checking into that. No point. It's a waste of time. You can just spin out. This is basically Delirium rewards per hour. How many Delirium rewards per hour can you get? That's basically the only thing I really care about in this farm. In fact, I care about it so much that I went for Exarch instead of Eater. You know why? Because the mobs spawn instantly. That's it. That's the reason. I want the mobs to spawn instantly. Because I'm going to be zooming past. I don't need mobs to have delayed spawn. I need to make sure they spawn. So I can kill them, hit the Beyond. Maybe the Beyond spawns fast enough to die. I don't know. Maybe not. But anyway, get enough rewards. Doesn't matter. Not actually full clearing the map. Anyway, I like to drop some Allflames because they are very valuable. Of course, still. So pure profit. We're not using Allflames. We're just picking them up. Very nice. There's an off chance we might get some really good Searing Exarch minion altar options. Cool. I don't want to take any player options on the Eater world anyway, because I don't really care about raw drops. Oh yeah, another cool thing about this farm. You don't need Magic Find. Doesn't matter. Magic Find's going to have almost no effect on this farm, because the vast majority of loot will be from the cluster jewels that drop through the reward tiles. MF doesn't affect that in any way, shape, or form. And secondarily, we'll be getting some of those fragments off the boss. 99% sure MF doesn't affect that as well. All right, so that is the Atlas. I think we're basically done there. Yeah, just to recap, increased effective modifiers where we can. Nico, Delirium for Delirium rewards. Beyond is in there, and we'll be clicking Delirium on the Curic crafting bench because I don't have raw spawn chance in there. That's what we're going to be clicking. You could take out some of the Beyond nodes and do Beyond anyway, but you have to have, you know, it's a good idea to have Delirium and Beyond on there if you can. All right, so that is linked in the atlas below. Just so you're aware, the Reality Fragment is almost worth 2 Divines apiece. This has the highest weighting on Abomination. I get one of these just about every other map that I clear the boss. So the map costs less than a Divine, and the Fragment that drops about half the time is worth almost 2 Divine. So you do the math, pretty much free map on that. Plus, you know, you usually get 2 Fragments anyway. Now, for Cluster Jewels, cool things to show you here. When you have 5 random Cluster Jewels of the lowest item level that they are, as you can see, these are all item level 84 when they're all rare, you can turn 5 in randomly and get 1 back for free. Who knows what it is? It could even be a 12 passive attack Cluster Jewel, which I guess is not worth anything. But imagine if it was a bow jewel. That would have been something. So that's not actually worth anything. I will trash it for now, but I will be keeping them later. Just so you can see the jackpot drops for here. And again, guys, dropping dozens of Cluster Jewels per hour. No, per map rather. Dropping hundreds of Cluster Jewels per hour, actually. One of the jackpot drops is the 3 passive mana reservation efficiency of skills jewel. This is currently somewhere around 6 divines as a base. Then next up we have the minions, 12 passive minion jewel, somewhere around 3 divines, maybe a little less now. And then we have the bow cluster jewel, which is, of course, I know a little bit about this. I used to use these a lot when I wasn't running Supreme Ostentation, get a lot of the attributes, chaos resistance, life, attack speed. And this sucker is also about 5 or 6 divines as a base. As a little honorary mention, I don't really have medium cluster jewels on the radar because there aren't any bases that are really worth a lot. This is the best one, however, and it is on the radar. The specific one is, so it is a flask, 6 passive flask duration one. It used to be very strong for Soul Thirst builds, but yeah, not so popular these days. So that is not part of the starting cost or anything. I will put them away in an off spot because we don't want to taint the results. So we're going to be using dump tabs. Okay, BCD. BCD should cover it there. And you can see I have 100 fairly well-rolled Abomination maps. I spent no more than 50 chaos per map. Most cases a lot less. They are all Nemesis rolled. None of them have the Shaper mod on there. But hey, I basically made profit rolling these maps because occasionally I rolled Nemesis Shaper and I am selling them. I already sold many of them today for anywhere between 2 and 7 divines per map, depending on the qualities of the roll overall. I made a recent video on YouTube, 2-minute video talking about that. Blew my mind. I would sell them. Again, more testimonies from my own community of people selling these maps for multiple divines when they randomly roll into a Nemesis Shaper touched map, which is something that the very highest end farmers do, and something that most of you guys probably aren't doing, myself included. For the Scarabs, we've got a very interesting selection here. We're going to be using double Delirium Scarab of Mania. This costs virtually nothing. Likewise, the next Scarab, double Delirium Scarab of Paranoia. Now, the reason why we're using these Scarabs is basically Paranoia is the best one. However, the map generation only allows you to use 2. If you use 3, you don't actually get any benefit. So you can get up to +4 additional reward types at the time. And yes, that does in fact synergize with these points here. Somebody in chat just said they just sold a T17 map for 7 divines. Cool, so did I, about 10 minutes before turning this stream on. And over here we got Scarab of Mania. Now, the benchmark is 8 rewards. Or you could think 7 reward tiles plus 1 for the boss kill. You do want to kill the boss towards the end to get that 8th one. On Abomination, it's a little bit tough to do. You really do have to just about full clear the map. If you do 0 league mechanics, which is pretty nice, I got into a nice flow state on this, so I'll show you what that's like. We'll do one first map. I'll show you the whole map, and then, you know, we'll cut to the highlights after that. But the VOD is linked in the description, as well as, you know, the build. This is going to be with a elemental hit of the Spectrum, Secrets of Suffering with a whole wild combination of gear. This is some sort of magic find, bossing, mapping hybrid build. This is unlike anything I've really used. It's got, it's a bow build with a headhunter, so it's mapping. It's got items like Soul Ascension and Ravenous Passion, which is like bossing stuff, and then, it's got a few magic find pieces here with the boots, ring, and divination display, but it works out pretty well together. Path of Building's linked in the description below, and it's actually quite a strong build. We'll be showcasing this officially at some point in the near future. But just so you're aware, this is not a multi-mirror tier build. The perception a lot of people have to break into tier 17s is you need a multi-mirror tier build, probably a Fizz bow, or some other kind of like really slow killing, Fulcrum, Chieftain kind of thing might suffice as well. No, I'm actually able to do this on a budget of roughly 300 to 400 divines. I did kind of double check this. I went back in and figured out what everything was basically worth. At least half of the gear's value comes from 2 items, Nemesis and Progenesis. And then basically the other half of the value comes from everything else combined. A lot of these items are remarkably cheap for the value they give. And yeah, look forward to, some kind of build showcase on that as well. We'll get this Maven fragment out of here because that's not going to count for anything. What am I going to count these maps as in terms of investment? Well, the Abomination map costs about 100 chaos apiece. I said I would put up to about 50 chaos in per map, and then the Scarabs are virtually free. So we're going to call this 1 divine per map. It's going to be a 100 divine investment in total, in full. So we'll check out the results on, I think, Wealthy Exile is the app I'm using now. So let's get started with the first map. Just to give you an idea, this is a very easy map here. Again, it takes a few chaos to roll a map like this. You do not necessarily need the Nemesis mod. I like running around with a lot of Headhunter buffs and getting myself at least some chance to drop some Scarabs. I personally feel like it's worth the time to do that. You may or may not. You can roll it in less if you need to. I have a Regex also linked in the description below, but that doesn't cover everything. It only covers like half the rolls. Alright, like I said, I'm doing Delirium, so this is the first map showcase. I'm doing Delirium here. And we're going to be going Searing Exarch. And yeah, I don't really care what the rolls are. It's nice if Scarabs on there. It's nice if it got increased quantity. I don't think it matters. I don't think, like, the vast majority of stuff I'm getting, it's not going to matter. I don't care about the Lantern mods either. We might hit some jackpot on here. I don't know. I don't really care about it. I'm just going to make it as easy as I can. And to that, we'll do something like this. I will tell you this, however. I am going to be throwing something random in here every map. This mob, this cracked out spider mob, is actually a real problem. It's for some reason one-shots me. It doesn't matter what the map mods are. I'm going to get it out of here every time. It is native to this map, and I actually do need to use an Allflame to get it off the map. I'm going to be using random all. I'm just going to pick up a random Allflame every map, and we're going to use it. Simple as that. So recommend getting that spider out of there. If you're playing a bow build, that sucker's crazy. Yeah. Alright, here we go. So Delirium there. There's going to be no timer. This is permanent Delirium. So yeah, the map's going to be a little hard, but hey, I got a decent build. I got a Headhunter after all, right? See, 2 rewards already. I got a few clusters here. There are no medium clusters on my loot filter except the really good ones. And right off the bat, we got, what is this? I don't know, I can't tell. It's not one of the good ones. Alright, I already got, an Allflame I can use next map anyway. I actually have to kind of loot a lot of stuff in the very beginning because the rewards will flip over constantly. My strategy for this is, again, I want to kill the boss kind of towards the end. I want to ramp up a bunch of Headhunter buffs in the process. Bates, thanks for the subscribe there, buddy. Appreciate that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head down, because the boss room is basically going to be on the upside, and I definitely want to pick up the Nico stuff with Pact with Energy, obviously. I do want that. And as we get farther from the mirror, it's going to get a little bit harder, the map, but, just paying attention to the clusters dropping behind me. Since I'm 5-to-1ing them, I got every single cluster drop is going to be featured on here. Every single cluster drop is item level 84, or higher, actually. Can be pretty hard to pick up stuff when you got Shroudwalker on, but that's okay. The price we pay for all the borrowed power. I really kind of stopped paying attention to corpses. You can by all means check corpses more closely, but I'm trying to do these maps in about 3 minutes flat, if possible. So, you know, once I get into the groove, that'll be kind of where we're at. Gonna skip the league mechanic, don't care about it. Look at the reward tiles here. We got 6 reward tiles. There's the boss room. I found myself most efficient whenever I went into the boss room at around 7 reward tiles, or very close to it. And we're almost there. So yeah, we're basically there. Alright, so we're gonna kill the boss. I gotta do the one on the right first, because she's crazy. Or, oops, I actually went to the wrong one. So I might die here, actually, because I'm supposed to do Daedra first. She's really scary, but I don't know, for some reason she's off. I don't know, they teleport and stuff. Usually these bosses, these mini bosses die very, very fast. I don't even have to mess with it. But yeah, we got the main guy. And I don't know, I'm just kind of standing here. This is much slower kill than normal. I've let myself drain off headhunter buffs a little bit too much there. But anyway, usually it's a little faster. But yeah, that's the kill. No remarkable drops. We did get nothing good too. So actually this is a pretty bad outcome on the first map. But you can see we got the reward tiles we're supposed to get there. And actually I think maybe, yeah, I think that's right. I feel like I might be missing one. We'll figure it out. I might have been short one reward tile. But you can see that's a lot of clusters, right? Kind of a lot of clusters right off the bat. Another 3 passive reservations. Another 6 plus duve. Another 3 passive cluster. And a divine orb. And a manifested what in the world? Oh, I made like 12 divines on this map already. Barely started. What's that, a crazy synth belt? No. Out of nowhere. Not that rare. Scarabs not that rare. It's worth the exact same thing as just another cluster jewel anyway. Like, who cares? It's the same thing as the cluster. Can you believe that? How easy these clusters are? They're the same value as the curation. You know, that's another way just like put in perspective how insanely strong this strat is. This small cluster is the same value as a Divination Scarab of Curation. Just let that sink in. I don't know, I find that kind of funny. Given, you know, how much people rave about that Scarab. Like, it only happens sometimes. Luminous Trove. Oh, when you kill one, the other 2 heal? Oh. That's dumb. Ooh. Worth. Oh my god. Oh my god. 2 S tier fragments. Ooh. Ooh. 9 divines. Ooh. 12 minion and a 3 passive. Where is it? There it is. These 2 dropped off the final round. Jackpot. Let me pause and see the status on bow clusters since they're hidden. It's a big sales point to this strat too. Wow, so many 12 passives. Holy shit. Well, alright, we got a minion there. Cold damage. Not good. Bow, another bows. Oh man. Oh man. Wait, I heard this one was good. Almost. Dreamer, really? Yeah, I got like 49 headhunter buffs already. Feel like I've barely done any of the map. Do I think Abyss would be good? No, probably not. Wait, what? Why is Tassalio so valuable? What the fuck? Oh my god. A red star Tassalio? I didn't even know this is a good Allflame. What in the world? I gotta look into this. They just put random Allflame in. It's pink crazy loot. Oh, I thought the path continued that way. Oops. What in the world? Wait, what? I thought these didn't exist. And Lightning Arrow League start bow build. I think she would disagree. Dude, Darker Half. Oh. Darker Half is real money this league. It's 2 divines, right? Or not, well, no, sorry. The turn-in is 2 divine. Darker Half is worth like half a divine, I think. Another currency divine. Dude. It drops so much. Wow, and a raw Eldritch Chaos. Okay. Uh-oh, we picked up more tattoo. Allflames. You know what that means. Another 13 divines coming. Oh, 12 passive chaos, okay. Okay, a little bit of cash. The nurse? What? Alright, that card's not actually worth anything anymore. Syndicate Allflame. Ooh. By the way, guys, I was thinking earlier, since back to basics, you can put hunted traders on the map. I'm wondering if... Have you guys ever witnessed, do hunted traders themselves drop Allflames? Because that's actually really big if they do. If you're farming Allflames, you would just automatically want to have hunted traders on the map. But I don't know if they do or not. Oh my god, I just hit Orb of Annulment Altar again? Already hit it once earlier this league. But, you know, we do get a lot of Scarabs out of that 8th reward, so... They're not Scarabs, clusters. Plus, you know, the maps are already expensive. I have to frickin' roll them and stuff, so... Maybe I will go up to the full amount. Double reality fragment again. Whoa. Dude. It's been ages since I dropped a unique cluster jewel from one of them. Oh. One more for the money. my god, Shroudwalk saved me.
Wow.
Whoa, a second one in the same map. That's actually the first time that's happened to me, I think. 2 reservation clusters in one map. Well, now we are back with some final results for you, and very exciting to see. So many people want to see what happened. Well, you know, I'm kind of facing my own reality a little bit, and the reality is the market, the cluster market is moving in the middle of me farming this, because I was showcasing it prior, and a lot of people are very excited to try this, and obviously a lot of people are having great success in this. It's definitely impacting the market already, more than I expected. But anyway, we're going to go with the results we see here, and we'll talk a little bit more about the market and the future of this strat and the final comments. So, first off, you can see that the winner was the 6% increased mana reservation efficiency Jewel, and it dropped about 1 per every 4 maps. Currently priced at about 5 divine. Actually, roll market price seems to be moving down from that direction a little bit, but we'll see what happens in the long run. Reality Fragments was the fragment that we're chasing off the boss kill. 27 of them. I thought I'd get a higher number, actually. But anyway, 27, and it's still about the same as it was before. Then we have the minion cluster, another big jackpot, 16 of them. Also fell a little bit, down to 2.1. Apparently, this Abomination boss likes dropping blazing fragments, because wow, I got 52 of them. We had one extreme jackpot drop, equivalent of a tier 0 drop of good value, 16 divine journey tattoo of the soul. Now the way I dropped this is that I was just slamming random Allflames I was picking up into the maps to get rid of that spider mob that always one-shots me. Occasionally I put in a tattoo on it. It's happened to drop in there. I don't know, it's pretty wild that it dropped in there. But yeah, that's there. This is the most weird drop of all. In the farm, we had 14 raw divines. I'd say at least 10 of them came from delirium rewards. So another kind of, you know, nice thing about spamming delirium rewards. All right, then we have spell damage clusters. So I did keep a few of these 40 to 50 chaos clusters as well. One more thing, the bow, 12 passive bow cluster does not show up on here. Doesn't show up. So and after this, we have Divination Scarab of Curation, one of them. We got Devouring Fragments. Just all goes down from there. Some Meat Sack, Allflames. Some other clusters, 12 passive or 8 passives that are, you know, 30, 40, 50C. One Calandra's Touch. So, yeah, a few Scarabs. And it basically just kind of downhill from there. Just kind of take the whole list, scroll through in case you want to, you know, double check what you're seeing. We're going to check out the dump tabs. You'll see there's really not that many items. In grand total of items, there's not that many. I'll show you. Here's the dump tabs. The way it looks all scattered is because I had to pull the clusters and then 5-to-1 them, which you got to see in the highlights. But that's it. And then there's this too, yeah. There's this. So these were the clusters that I kept. I kept 6 passive increased flask effect mediums. We got 12 passive lightning, 8 passive lightning, 12 passive spell damage, 12 passive chaos, 8 passive chaos. These are all kind of mid-tier, okay? These are like 30, 40, 50 chaos apiece as a base. And you can craft on them or move forward and just sell them. A lot of people will buy them in bulk anyway, actually, if you list a bunch of them. We got the 8 passive variations of minion and bows, and then the big jackpot ones here. And so we could see we got, you know, a solid number of all these, and then 26 of these. I said in the beginning I knew that most of the currency would come from this particular cluster right here, and this is the Journeyman Tattoo of the Soul. Really kind of bewildering to see that drop. All right, so let's drop back in and see the financial results. Got it all spread out here for you. 25 divines bonus for the 12 passive bow clusters. The reason this is the case is because the app I'm showing pulls off of PoE Ninja, and PoE Ninja is broken on this particular cluster. This is the cluster I'm talking about. Yeah. For some reason, it just doesn't show up on there. It has been worth about 4, 5, or 6 div a piece. It seems to be mid-crash. Great opportunities for crafting it. You'll see in a moment. But anyway, right now it's around 2 div, I guess. So I got, I guess, 13 of them, I think. 12 or 13, so it's 25 Divine, the bonus. Investment cost, I mentioned earlier in the front of the video, 100 divines. That's the cost of the map, which was most of it. Scarabs, almost nothing there. And then also rolling the maps. Okay, so that's about, 20, 30, 40 chaos of rolling the map that you have to do on top of it to make it, viable. It doesn't have to be too crazy. Well, it depends on how strong your character is, how much you have to roll it. So gross profit, there was 427 divines minus 100, it's 327. And that came out to about 3.27 per map. Divines per hour, it took about 7 hours. Actually less than 7 hours when rounding up, because the 5-to-1ing of the clusters is kind of time consuming. And I don't think I'm going to do it moving forward. I think I'm going to stop doing the 5-to-1, which is worth doing, if you're thin on currency or if you're early in the league. But at this point, if I'm in this, farming really high numbers like this, 46 div an hour, I actually don't think it's worth it because it's pulling a lot of my time out. And that's pretty good numbers. So as far as like farms right now and currently in the game, it doesn't seem to be too much in the way of broken farms right now. GGG doesn't, I don't think anybody's expecting them to, hard nerf something in the near future. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I know a lot of my fellow streamers out there trying to, everybody's looking at a lot of different farms. And I got to say, 46 div an hour is really good. And this is with the market prices having already dropped a little bit. All right, hey everybody, last second correction comes after the video. My chat informed me that I was egregiously mistaken in my estimation of the 12 passive 84 plus bow cluster. When I initially checked the price of it, I forgot to turn off bricked fractured items. So what that looks like is this. And you'll see, I noticed the prices were all around 2 div. Well, it's just because everyone just is trying to, for some reason, resell a bricked fractured cluster. If we go in and we type no on fracture, suddenly we have very different results. Very different. Like upwards of 7 div a piece. So I found 12 of those. And the corrected math on this puts it at 474 gross, 374 net, and 3.74 div per map, and a whopping 67 div per hour for this farm. This number is not quite right. It's probably around 35. So yeah, that was so different that, just quick final little bit of the video. So, yep, just wanted to correct that. All right, so that is it for the results. I want to give you my final thoughts. The final thoughts, definitely kind of important in this video. All right, so I mentioned at the beginning of the video that I didn't think, or I felt like this farm would probably have a lot of longevity or would be able to endure some of the harsh market movements going on. And then in the middle of this, reality check, apparently the market moved a lot harder than I expected. Literally just starting this farm 24 hours ago, and then suddenly 24 hours later, some of the cluster jewels already moving down. So I want you to be aware that's happening, especially after I said it probably wouldn't happen. Now it's important to keep in mind that item level 84 clusters are the top end to be fractured bases for the most part. If you want to see what I mean, you can, fracture one like this. In this case, I went for a sort of 2 and 4 fracture. It would be best if I had 35% increase effect, but hitting tier 1 chaos res is a close second. And if you check the value of this right now, it's like 28 divines. Okay, so this cluster cost me 2 div. It cost me about another 1 or 2 div to roll it to have a 50-50 chance of hitting something good, and then it cost me 3 div to fracture it. And so you can see the profitability of hitting the fracture is it's incredibly good market right now for profit crafting, and that's because the base cluster has tanked in value temporarily. So what's going to happen is a bunch of people out there are just going to go in and buy up all these clusters that they've gone too low in value, and they're going to fracture a ton of them, and it's going to pull them out of the market. And I was going to talk about this whether it happened or not. This is kind of the way we're going. Now, the reason people are spending so many fracturing orbs on this is because fracturing orbs cost a fraction of what they have in leagues gone past. That's because of the unforeseen brand new Harbinger farm where people are chasing mirror shards and getting tons of fracturing shards. In the process, it's flooding the market with fracturing orbs. On top of that, Necropolis League has resulted in two separate ways. First, it was through Anarchy Allflames, flooding the market with tons of pre-fractured bases, and now people are fracturing, multi-fracturing everything in the graves. That's what the meta for Necropolis crafting right now, which is put fracturing orbs in a really weird spot where they're basically as undesirable as ever, and people are just using them to just dump them into clusters because you can't Necropolis craft a cluster. So that is where I'm at, and I'm anticipating the health of this market being able to endure a lot of abuse. But, you know, if everybody and their dog goes out and does this farm, obviously, you know, this can only handle so much. Anyway, be on the lookout for the values of these clusters. If you're noticing them moving way too low, you know, reevaluate the efficacy of the farm. The numbers may not come out to what they came out with me. Revisit this farm a week later. You might see some dramatic changes. The base clusters may go up. I'm especially going to revisit this early next league because, again, one of my favorite things about this farm, especially as it pertains to, you know, what are the good things I can say about this farm? No magic find required. Okay, so if you go back and look at the value of everything that dropped, virtually none of that was on account of raw drops or magic finding. Okay, it was like, so it was all flames. I don't think that, I'm pretty sure that doesn't count for MF. Delirium rewards, clusters, that has nothing to do with MF. The fragments off of the boss doesn't have anything to do with MF. Secondly, no all flames required. So people trying to break into tier 17, way easier for a farm like this, one that doesn't require you to throw meat sacks on there or anarchy on there or, you know, whatever. Way easier content when you don't have to put all flames on. Now, you do have to put delirium on there, so that does make up for some of the ease of difficulty, I guess. Another great thing is no bubblegum currency pickup. Again, look at this. So little stuff I picked up. This is 100 maps worth of stuff. That's not that many clicks. Really not that many. Well, it ends up being a lot if you pick up all the clusters, but me moving forward, I'm going to be not picking up as many clusters, to be fair. You don't even have to finish the map, all right? So, again, a lot of you trying to break into tier 17s are going to be worried about investing into them, where this is about as low investment as you can get on a tier 17 farm, and you only have to do a quarter of the map to make decent currency, because you're going to get, like, out of 8 reward tiles I usually get, you're still going to get 5 or 6 if you clear half the map and don't do the boss. And again, you can go in and see how much of the breakdown was. Most of it's clusters. You're going to be getting those clusters anyway. And unlike virtually or any tier 17, legit tier 17 farm I'm aware of, you don't have the flexibility to dump a bunch of points into Nico and make the map easier. That's not really a thing for, you know, most juiced strategies. You just don't have that luxury. But on a very niche farm like this, you do. So the maps are way easier. I never expected I would be putting Nico on a tier 17 map farm. I didn't see that coming, so I'm quite surprised that I was able to do that. And that's going to bode really well next league. That's exactly what I'm thinking next league. This is going to be a farm I'm going to try to jump into immediately. And that's basically my final thoughts. So I will continue doing this farm a little bit. It looks like I farmed up a mirror, essentially. I already had like 80 divines on me, so if I have another 400, that's effectively a mirror. So maybe next time you'll get to see me sporting the brand new mirror tier bow, hopefully. We'll see. That's it for me on this video. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Hope this one was able to help you. I really hope I could give you guys a farm, something an in-between farm. There seems to be a severe shortage of strategies that are not super easy tier 16 stuff or not super crazy hard tier 17 stuff. Something in between that you can, you know, progress your way through and make a bunch of currency in the process. Wouldn't that be nice? So I hope this farm is that for you, or at least in the near future. Let me know what you think. Just catch you guys in the next video. See you next time.